To discuss money. There's a good video that's highlighted in this introduction, and I'll try to give you guys a link as well. The link is there, but in an easier format for you guys to click on, called Money as Debt. If you watch the first 10 minutes of it, it's pretty good. It doesn't get into conspiracy theories too much that first 10 minutes. It gives you a good idea of how this whole monetary sector came to be, and I think it gives a better explanation than I can on the history of money. But if we look through these slides here, if I look at the money is the set of assets in the economy that people use to buy goods and services from other people. Why use money? Well, in the past we used to have a barter economy which required double coincidence of wants. If I wanted to get some pork and I had some wheat or some steel for sale, well, I had to find someone that was willing to sell pork that wanted to buy what I had to sell. Otherwise, I had to sell it to someone else to get what he wanted, and so on and so forth. It was quite inconvenient and quite long. So what are the different things that we want to get as much as possible from this money? Whatever currency, whatever thing we use, what do we want? Well, we want these three attributes. We want it to be a medium of exchange. What we mean by that is we want it to be that people are willing to accept it as a medium of exchange. If you have this money that some people will accept and some other people don't accept, such as different types of currencies out there, like you think of all the new digital currencies or just like municipal currencies, they're good, but if people are not accepting them, it kind of goes against it all. So it has to be a medium of exchange, and you want it to be as liquid as possible. You want it to be treated as money or treated as value. People are willing to sell their stuff in exchange of this money. Okay? You want money to be used as a unit of account. So in that bartering system that we had, it was very hard to compare the value of a pork to value of wheat if we wouldn't trade amongst one another. But with money, it's really easy to say, well, if apples are $1 each and oranges are 50 cents each, well, that means that for the same price I get one apple, I could get 2 oranges. It gives you a better idea of the relative value of different goods, and knowing the relative value makes you take better decisions more rapidly. Store of value is a big one for money. If you think about in the past, if you were a farmer, the only way you could store value for your retirement or for future years was really just to pile up some of your food in silos and other things like that. And the problem with that is that if ever there was a fire or if there was an infestation or something else that led to all of your crops to kind of no longer be good, you would lose everything. So you want money to be a store of value as much as possible. The different kinds of money. Okay, so this is important to note. There's either commodity money or fiat money. And commodity money is money that has money above the bill itself. So if every bill, or if you have a gold coin, well, that gold coin has money because we say it has money, but it also has money if you decide to melt it. Whereas fiat money, which is most of our current money, does not have any intrinsic value. It's no longer like in the past that you could say for this dollar bill I could get access to this amount of gold. So the actual material used to make a $10 bill is not worth $10 itself. So we have this distinction here, and essentially as soon as people give up accepting this money, it has no value. It's pretty much monopoly money. It's worthless. Whereas commodity money wasn't the case. So some people think that we should go back to gold standard, but we'll see that that's no longer the case, and fiat money works really well when people accept it as money. So what are the different forms of money? And when we're going to be talking about money stock in a second, well, the two most basic forms of money is currency, which is the paper notes and coins held by the public, and demand deposits, all the amount of money that you have access to by writing a check or using a debit card. Those two are the most basic forms of money. So if we look at this, we have a situation where if you look at the different monetary measures, I won't ask you guys to know all these monetary measures. The higher number you go, like M2 plus, M3, and so on and so forth, the higher the number, the more you're including things that are less liquid. So always includes everything from the previous group, but it adds on other things. So M1 plus would be the most basic one with currency and checkable deposits. And we'd have like $782 billion available in currency. It doesn't mean that that's all there is in Canada that's going to be exchanged in a given year. We'll talk about velocity of money and other things like that in the future, but essentially that's the amount of money. The reason why I'm covering this is really just to say, well, later on when we talk about the concept of money supply, when we say that the money supply is going up, we're going to say, well, regardless if you're talking about this money stock or another money stock, it's that level of money in circulation is going to go up through this change in money supply. So I often focus on the most basic form, but there's other forms out there that you could look at. A big thing to keep in mind is if the money that the debit cards can access is part of the money stocks, or credit cards part of it too? Well, the quick and dirty answer is no. Because essentially, if you just think about it, ask yourself, well, if I were to, let's say I have access right now to a credit card that gives me a $10,000 limit. If I get a second credit card that also gives me $10,000 limit, I don't have more money. I just have access to more potential loans rapidly, but it's not more money. Like I can make purchases, but those purchases all owe money to it, and I don't have that money. So if you count both steps in this setup, you're overstating the amount of money in circulation. It's as if I get a bigger line of credit from 40,000 to 100,000. I have access to more money once again, but I don't have more money. So there's always these quick quizzes, list and describe the 3 functions of money, which was covered early on. It should be pretty clear cut if you've just watched this video.